Nick was at home with his girlfriend, casually recording a video of her talking about what she was watching on TV, for reasons that aren't even important to what happens next. The moment seems completely normal, just the two of them, inside, relaxed, unaware of anything unusual. The camera stays pointed toward her, but in the background, behind them, a window faces outside into the dark.
Beth. Hello. What are you doing?
TV.
TV?
Yeah.
What are you watching?
99 bizarre things.
Huh. Well.
As the video plays back later, they notice something neither of them saw at the time. A faint, ghostly figure passes by the window, moving across the glass for only a second before vanishing out of view. It doesn't look like a reflection, and there was no one outside when they checked. The realization hits after the fact, turning an ordinary clip into something unsettling. Now they're left reviewing the footage over and over, unsure what they captured or what they're supposed to do about it, trying to figure out their options while knowing they can't explain what walked past that window. For a while, strange noises had been coming from the basement. Sounds that didn't match the usual creaks of a house settling. There was consistent knocking, along with what sounded like rummaging and movement, like something was shifting around down there when no one should have been. The noises went on long enough to make it impossible to ignore. Eventually, Smith grabbed his camera, deciding to document whatever was happening, and slowly opened the basement door.
There's been noises coming from this door all morning. I'll just sit here and record it for a minute.
The moment the door cracked open, every single sound stopped. No more knocking, no movement, just silence. He made his way down the stairs cautiously, step by step, the camera scanning the dark space at the bottom. But when he reached the basement floor, there was nothing there. No fallen items, no animals, no sign that anything had been moving at all, leaving only the memory of the noise and the uneasy feeling that whatever made it had stopped the second he came looking. This next clip brings back a woman from a previous Haunter video who previously found a camera with blood on it along the trail and later shared the disturbing forest footage of a black figure hiding, so new viewers understand the situation surrounding her. In this separate video, she's at home, filming herself in bed, visibly shaken and crying after being woken up suddenly in the night. She keeps repeating that it's in her house and that it's coming for her. Her voice panicked and exhausted, like this isn't the first time it's happened.
It's the middle of the night and I just got woke up again. It's coming for me. It's in my house. The noises are coming from the kitchen. Listen. That's the noise that wakes me up every night. It gets me. It wakes me up in my dreams. It wakes me up from my sleep. I have to catch it on camera.
She turns the camera toward her bedroom door, and from deeper in the house, loud banging noises can be heard coming from the kitchen area, heavy enough to echo through the walls. She explains that the same sounds have been waking her up repeatedly at night, leaving her afraid to sleep. The combination of her fear, the unexplained noise, and her connection to the earlier footage makes the situation feel far more serious than just a random disturbance. Later in the same video, she leaves the bedroom and moves into the living room, right beside the kitchen, trying to steady her breathing while still recording. Her breaths are deep and shaky, like she's trying to calm herself enough to face whatever she thinks is there. The camera slowly turns toward the kitchen, and that's when she points it out.
You see that? There's a shadow in the corner of the kitchen. I know I'm not seeing things. I know I'm not. I know you guys saw that. I'm going back out there.
A dark, shadow-like figure can be seen standing inside the kitchen area, not moving, just present. She whispers that it's there, her voice trembling but certain, and the shape appears to match the same dark figure seen earlier in the forest footage. It doesn't approach or react, just remains in place, which somehow makes it feel worse. She insists she isn't imagining it, staying close enough to film it clearly, convinced the presence from before has somehow followed her home. Later, she's back in bed again, filming herself through tears, her face fed up and exhausted like she hasn't slept properly in days. She flips the camera around and asks viewers if they can hear it too. At first, it's faint, but there are clear speaking noises somewhere in the house, low and distant, but unmistakably voice-like.
Do you guys hear that? No one is home. My sister left for the whole weekend. Who is that? Who is that in my house?
She slowly leaves the bedroom and walks into the main living space, the camera shaking slightly in her hands. The sounds become clearer there, taking on a womanly tone, saying strange, unclear things that echo through the room. What makes it worse is the situation she keeps repeating. She is completely alone in the house. No TV is on, no one else is there, yet the voice continues, filling the space while she stands there recording, crying, and trying to understand who or what is speaking. As the video continues, she explains through a state of deep distress that everything has been getting worse, and that she hasn't told anyone around her because she's afraid of how it sounds. Her voice is tired, defeated, like she's been carrying this alone for too long. Then something happens that completely breaks her composure.
It's getting worse, and I don't want to tell anyone or go anywhere because I don't have anywhere to go, and I don't have anyone who's believing me. At first, it was my sister, but now I hear my mom. And she doesn't live here. She lives on the other side of the country, and I just called her, and she's in her own home. She's not here right now. So who is that? I've gone through the whole entire apartment. There is no one else here but me. No one else.
From somewhere in the house, she hears a voice calling out hello, and she freezes. She says it sounds exactly like her mum. The problem is, her mum is at her own home, nowhere near the house. The familiarity of the voice makes it more disturbing than anything else so far, because it's not just a random sound, it's personal, precise, and impossible to explain, leaving her standing there in shock, trying to process how something could copy someone she knows so closely. It simply makes no sense. At this point, she seems more determined than before, still scared, but trying to confront whatever is happening. There's knocking again, this time coming directly from her bedroom door. It's slow and deliberate, not random house noise, but spaced knocks that sound intentional. She calls out, asking who it is and what it wants, her voice shaky, but louder than before.
It's back again. It's back again tonight. Who is it? What do you want? But it's not. It's not. Something else is here.
In response, the door handle shifts and the door creaks open on its own, inch by inch, slow enough to make every second feel stretched out. She forces herself to get up and walk toward it, camera still recording, and looks behind the door and into the hallway. Nothing is there. No movement, no person, no explanation. But somehow that makes it worse, because now it's not just making sounds or showing shapes. It's physically moving parts of the house, interacting with her space while remaining completely unseen. In one last clip from the woman, she is seen leaving her apartment building and heading toward the car park, still recording as if she doesn't feel safe moving alone anymore. The area is dim, lit only by scattered lights, and she keeps scanning around as she walks. Then she zooms in toward her car, and that's when viewers notice it.
I was just walking out of my apartment. And look. You see that? You see that shadow? It's following me.
Behind the vehicle, partially obscured by shadow, the same dark figure shape appears to be standing there, still and silent, matching the form seen in the forest and inside her home. It doesn't move, but its presence alone is enough to make the moment feel heavy. Whether all of this is a coincidence caused by lighting and angles, or something far more real, no one can say for sure. What I do know is you should subscribe for more videos like this. The Midwest ghost hunter is back again, continuing his exploration of the same abandoned factory where he's been documenting some seriously unnerving encounters. For anyone new, he's a solo investigator who's been visiting this building for weeks now, and every single time the activity seems to ramp up even more. This latest clip only adds to the mystery.
Are you working? Dude, it sounded like footsteps up there. Like hard, heavy footsteps. Oh my God. My heart is racing. But as you can see, there is no one up there. Is it alright if I come up there? Am I authorized? Could you make a noise to let me know? Shoot, well, I'm coming up anyway. Hope you don't mind. Oh gosh, these stairs are steep. Oh. Oh, geez. All right, I think I'm gonna try a spirit box session up here. See if I can communicate with any of the workers. If there's anybody up here, I got a device here that you can speak through. Could you speak to me? Damn, it is dark up here, guys. This is what I'm seeing, just to show you. Pitch black. And I gotta carry this spirit box and this camera, so I ain't got a light. Whoa. That was a man's voice right there. Are you saying your name? Who are you? Whoa.
As he's walking through one of the upper levels, he suddenly hears disembodied footsteps climbing the metal stairs ahead of him. The sound is loud, clear, and paced just like a person would walk, but there's nobody on the upper section at all. He stands at the bottom listening, calling out and asking if he's allowed to come up, and the footsteps immediately stop. He asks whatever's there to make another noise to confirm he is allowed up, but the entire building goes silent. Since he doesn't get an answer, he decides to go up anyway, climbing the metal steps with his night vision helping. At the top, he pulls out his spirit box, asking directly for a sign that something is actually with him. After a few bursts of static, a voice comes through clearly saying, "Eddie," followed by another message that sounds like they lost their balance into Ian's equipment, almost like someone was standing right next to him, explaining what happened. Between the footsteps, the direct responses, and the eerily personal messages, this might be one of the most convincing moments he's ever captured in that factory. Within the Jefferson Hotel, reports of paranormal activity have been piling up for years, but one incident in particular pushed things into genuinely unsettling territory. A guest staying in room 117 reportedly checked out in a panic after an encounter they said happened in the bathroom late at night. According to staff, the guest had been taking a bath when the room filled with steam, and words slowly began to appear on the mirror, as if written by an unseen hand. The message read, "You should leave." Thinking it was some kind of prank or condensation trick, they wiped the mirror clean. Moments later, as the steam built up again, a new message appeared, this time far more direct, telling them to get out. The guest immediately fled the room, leaving their belongings behind, and even losing the bathroom key in the process. Hotel staff later entered the room to investigate and document what had happened.
But we took some pictures. I'll show you the pictures real quick. These pictures were a little eerie. You can see right here is the get out. And we took a series of pictures. Well, in all these pictures, there's only 2 people with the exception of this one. See right there, there's a third face, and there should only be 2 because all the pictures only showed 2 people in there. So whoever this third face is, we don't know. It was kind of weird, but we did go in there this morning to try to fog it up again, and it didn't happen. So I'm not sure, how long the prank lasts. Or if it was even a prank.
They show the photographs taken that night, capturing the messages as they appeared on the fogged mirror. What stands out is how unnatural the writing looks, uneven, distorted, and nothing like handwriting formed by a finger. In one of the images, viewers later noticed something even more disturbing. Faintly visible in the reflection is what appears to be a third face, semi-transparent, and not belonging to anyone who was supposed to be in the room at the time. Staff attempted to recreate the conditions by fogging up the bathroom again, and once more, the same message appeared on the glass without anyone touching it. After that, room 117 was quietly taken out of rotation for a period of time, and the hotel has never offered a clear explanation for what was captured there. In the following video, Ragalzu was working a night shift when the building was completely empty, and after hearing strange noises echoing through the halls, he decided to start filming to protect himself more than anything else. The place was dark, quiet, and lit only by his phone and a small flashlight, which made every sound feel amplified.
Mira, ahí pasó. Dígame que lo vieron. Se lo vio clarito. Mira, ahí pasó. Mira. Se lo vio clarito. Y pasó por el medio del patio. ¿Qué les dije? Mira. Negrito para acá fue. Para ahí. ¿Ven? Pasó por ahí, agachadito, corriendo por aquí. Se desenfocó, ¿eh? Está al frente de ustedes, gente. Todas las cosas siempre más, digamos, turbias y fuertes. Me movieron un muñeco, movieron una silla, me golpeaban la campana, hacían un montón de quilombo y ahora cierran la puerta. Y bueno, pero yo dije que antes de irme voy a limpiar el lugar, que ninguna entidad tiene que permanecer aquí, ninguna entidad tiene que seguir en este lugar, porque van a venir niños. Van a venir niños y no tienen que seguir aquí. Me atravesó otra vez. ¡Ay, Dios mío! Me dejó encerrado. Ahora sí me dejó encerrado. ¿Ahora lo hace con esta también? Es un colegio. Sí, mira. Mira, no. ¿Ve? Él la cerró. Es más, hace rato, pero sí estoy en Santiago, hace rato se vio literalmente un duende cruzar, o sea, la figura de un niño cruzando por detrás mío. Uy, escuchen. Está golpeando. Ahí la abrió. Ok. Vine por acá. Ya dejó de golpear. Linda la noche en la escuela, ¿eh? Ahí está volviendo la puerta. No tiene luz, pero tiene que pasar un proceso para poder trascender y ¿A dónde Mautrix, Gamin, dónde dice que se verían cosas locas? En el hospital me trabajo toda la noche. Estuve el sábado en un hospital abandonado. Y también logré captar una entidad bastante oscura. Yo esta puerta la voy a cerrar ya mejor.
As he walks forward, the camera catches what looks like movement behind a closed door ahead of him, a dark, human-shaped object. passing across it for just a second, like someone walking by on the other side. Ragalzu immediately panics and runs straight toward the door, shining his flashlight through the glass and then outside once he opens it. There's nothing there. No footsteps, no shadows, no place for anyone to hide. The area beyond the door is completely empty, and security later confirmed no one else was on site at the time. Whatever moved past that door was there only long enough to be seen, then vanished the moment he tried to confront it. A haunted foodie YouTuber was exploring an abandoned mental asylum, expecting nothing more than a quiet, eerie location for a casual exploration video. The building had been left to rot, with peeling paint, debris scattered across the floor, and long ward corridors filled with old hospital rooms. She films herself walking through one of the messiest sections, opening doors, and looking around while talking calmly to the camera. Her husband can be seen further down the corridor at one point, also looking around, making it clear they weren't alone in the building, but still very much alone in terms of other people.
I think this is the ward, actually. Oh my god, that's really, really new looking. Oh, it does smell like a hospital jar. Yeah. Oh, yeah, look. Does actually smell like a hospital. This seems a lot newer than the rest of the building. Whoa. Toilets in here. All the sinks are broken. Yet again, like I like to say in all of my abandoned. What's that? Whoa. They like pink tiles, don't they? What's in our room? There's another room in here. Shower. I don't like looking behind shower curtains. That just creeps me right out. The bathroom again there. That's pretty cool, that is. Smells like an hospital in this part, definitely.
As she pans the camera from a blank wall back toward the corridor, something unsettling happens without her noticing. At the far end of the hallway, a tall, dark figure is briefly visible standing near a doorway. Within a split second, it appears to react to the camera and slips behind the door, completely vanishing from view. The movement is quick, but unmistakable when slowed down. She continues filming, unaware anything happened, and only realizes later when reviewing the footage. After spotting it, she shared the clip online, admitting that she had no explanation for who or what that figure could have been, especially since no one else was supposed to be anywhere near that part of the asylum. After watching this next clip, you'll definitely want a dash cam on your car. The footage comes from a vehicle driving along a highway, with the road ahead completely clear at first. It's late, visibility isn't great, and everything feels normal until something suddenly appears directly in the lane. A small, transparent figure that looks disturbingly like a child is standing in the middle of the road. The driver slows down instinctively, clearly panicking, but there's nowhere to swerve in time. The car passes straight through where the figure is standing, yet there's no impact, no sound, nothing in the mirrors afterward. The road behind them is empty. When the footage is slowed down, the figure doesn't react at all. It doesn't move, flinch, or turn its head. It just stays there as the car goes through it. Many people who've seen the clip believe it's the ghost of a child tied to that stretch of highway, while others can't explain how something so clear left absolutely no trace. Either way, it's the kind of footage that makes night driving feel a lot less routine and more abnormal. A cemetery security guard captured this unsettling footage while on patrol late at night with a co-worker, both of them filming because of repeated reports in the area.
I've been recording the whole time. Yo, me and Eon seen this bitch walking through the cemetery. Blowing it, running through the cemetery and landed on a tombstone.
Yeah, she was blowing it. She landed on a tombstone. She was blowing it. Hey, what you doing, girl?
Yo, that shit is creepy as...
What the f***?
What happened?
What the f*** you doing?
Why she touching other people's graves?
Yo, she just bust her head on the other grave, though.
Did she?
She got on no shoes, bro.
What she just grabbed?
A flower. She just grabbed a flower. She got on no shoes.
Yo, Boogie, we watching a ghost. She... Yo, don't say that to her. Don't say that to her. I'm scared as shit. Cause what if she, nigga, she knows where you live, nigga. You live across the street from the cemetery.
I'll shoot that bitch. Shoot that bitch.
Nigga, this bitch is crazy.
Yo, what the fuck?
Yo, what the f?
Yo, I see. Yo, where the blunt at? Pass the blunt. Pass the blunt. I cannot. Nah. She was blowing it. Did you see how she tripped over that tombstone?
She landed on a tombstone.
On it, on her head. And she planned this. Yo!
There's no way in fuck she planned this, Boogie.
Yo!
She ain't answering nobody. She ain't look at us.
Yo, girl, the whole way!
Yo, girl, the whole way.
You scaring me! You really scaring me! You scaring the shit out of me! Yo! You scaring the shit out of me! Go home! Go home!
Yo, Boogie, she gonna come back and she gonna be sitting right in front of your house, nigga. And I'm gonna pop that bitch.
Her ass.
Yo, she ran through the cemetery and was walking.
Yo, I wish I still had that BB.
Yo, you gotta let her go. Maybe she's like hurting or something.
Why was she running that fast though?
But why she just stopped and take someone else? She took someone else's flower, nigga, from
Look,
there.
she's swinging it. She's having fun, B. Yo, I'm gonna have to go karate kick this bitch.
Yo, this is the creepiest shit that I've ever seen in my life.
My nigga, yo, bitches had a picnic in there the other day.
A picnic, nigga. She has on all white and she's running and jumping on people's tombstones. Yo, you crazy bitch.
You the crazy bitch!
Nigga, she's jumping on people's tombstones.
What? Oh my God.
She's spinning this shit? Nah.
World Star.
World Star. Where'd she go?
World Star.
Where'd she go?
She disappeared.
She disappeared.
In the distance, a young girl dressed entirely in white can be seen standing among the gravestones, her head tilted downward as if she's focused on something only she can see. The guards call out to her repeatedly, asking if she's lost or needs help, but she never responds, never even looks in their direction. Instead, she slowly walks between the graves, trailing her fingers across the tops of the headstones in a way that feels disturbingly deliberate. At one point, she bends down and takes a flower from a grave, holding it loosely before wandering further into the cemetery. The guards shout again, telling her to stop, but she ignores them completely and even takes another flower as if their presence means nothing to her. Then, without warning, she steps behind a large tombstone and vanishes. When the guards rush over to check after the footage ends, there's nobody there at all. No footsteps, no place she could have gone, just the cold silence of the cemetery. To this day, they have no explanation for who she was or where she disappeared to. Ricky is a well-known ghost hunter who's been investigating the same abandoned establishment for a long time, convinced that whatever is there hasn't left yet. In this clip, he's outside the building late at night, filming himself in a casual vlog style as he stands in silence. The area around him looks empty and quiet, with nothing but fencing and darkness behind him.
Hey!
As he continues talking, something strange happens in the background. Behind Ricky, beyond the fence, a tall, dark, black figure suddenly walks across the frame. It's not a shadow from him or the camera. It moves independently, passing through the background like a person calmly walking by. Ricky doesn't notice it at first, but viewers immediately point it out. A second later, he seems to sense something is wrong and spins around, spotting movement out of the corner of his eye. He breaks into a run toward the fence, shining his light and calling out. But when he reaches the exact spot where the figure was, there's nothing there at all. No person, no animal, no place for someone to hide. After reviewing the footage later, Ricky admits that this is one of the clearest things he's ever caught at that location, and it's only reinforced his belief that something is still roaming that property, watching him every time he visits. Someone named Tom was lying in bed late at night when he started hearing strange noises coming from his kitchen. The kind that are just loud enough to stop you from sleeping but not clear enough to explain. Uneasy, he grabbed his phone and began recording, aiming the camera toward the doorway that led out of his bedroom.
What the f...
For a while, nothing happens at all. The doorway stays dark and still, and the apartment feels empty, almost quiet enough to convince you it was all in his head. But then, slowly, something begins to appear. A circular black shape peeks out from the edge of the doorway, just enough to be noticeable, like a head cautiously leaning into view. It lingers there for a moment, completely silent, before slowly retreating back out of sight. The movement is deliberate, not fast or startled, almost like whatever it was knew it was being watched. Tom doesn't step closer or call out. He just keeps filming, breathing heavier as the doorway goes still again. Nothing else appears after that, but the way the shape emerged and hid makes the clip incredibly unsettling, leaving the impression that something was standing in his kitchen, watching him from the dark. A few days later, the activity hadn't stopped. In fact, it seemed bolder. Tom finds himself back in the exact same spot, standing this time, after hearing the familiar noises coming from the kitchen again. His voice sounds steadier, but there's tension in every word as he starts recording.
What the f...
Who is out? Oh my God. Oh my goodness, what the Hello, who is there? Oh my goodness, please stop. What the Please stop, please stop. This is my house. Leave, this is my house. You're not allowed here, leave. Oh my goodness.
As he slowly approaches the doorway, a loud clatter suddenly rings out from inside the kitchen, the unmistakable sound of something metallic hitting the floor, like cutlery being thrown from a counter. Almost immediately after, cabinet doors begin opening and slamming shut one after another, hard enough to echo through the apartment. Tom raises his voice now, telling whatever is in there to leave, to stop, to get out of his house. He sounds firm, almost authoritative, like he's trying to take control of the situation, but it doesn't work. The noises continue without hesitation, cabinets still moving as if his commands mean nothing at all. He backs away slightly, breathing faster, realizing that whatever was peeking at him days earlier wasn't intimidated. If anything, it sounded like it was responding by getting louder. Tom later said this was the moment he truly understood he wasn't alone in that apartment, and whatever was in his kitchen had no intention of leaving just because he asked. In the following piece of footage, taken from a toddler monitor late at night, a parent captures something that still hasn't been explained. The camera is pointed directly at the crib, showing a close-up of their toddler sleeping peacefully. Nothing unusual at first. The room is dim, lit only by the soft glow of the baby cam, and the house is completely quiet.
What the is that? That's so weird. Well! I'll kill you, son of a...
If you look closely, right beside the toddler, another head can clearly be seen resting in the crib. It looks like a second child, partially obscured, facing the camera. Moments later, the figure slightly shifts its small hand as it moves, just enough to confirm it isn't a shadow or camera glitch. The man watching the monitor panics and immediately runs toward the bedroom, still filming as he calls out. When he reaches the crib, there's nothing there at all. The room is dark, the toddler is alone, and there's no possible way another child could have been there unnoticed. After the recording ends, he insists he checked every corner of the room and the house, but found no sign of anyone else. The footage has since got many views, with many people questioning whether the camera picked up a glitch, a reflection, or something far more unsettling watching over the child that night. Andre, a young man living alone, explained that strange noises around his house were never something he really paid attention to, until one night when things escalated fast. He was sitting at his keyboard, casually practicing an impressive piece, completely focused, when a sudden clattering sound cuts through the music. He stops playing instantly, and then strange things start to happen.
Hallo?
The sound clearly didn't come from the keyboard, so he sets it down and walks into the kitchen to investigate. On the floor, a pillow from the living room is lying awkwardly, along with several other items that look like they've been knocked down all at once. As he starts picking them up, something happens behind him. A loud sliding noise echoes from the other room, and at the same time, a few keys on his keyboard press themselves, playing random notes with no one touching it. Andre slowly turns back toward the keyboard, his breathing getting heavier as he realizes the mess has spread. The trash bin has completely tipped over, spilling everything across the floor. Then it gets worse. From the living room, a sound that almost resembles a woman's voice can be heard, faint but distinct, followed by the TV turning itself on. The screen glitches with static, lagging unnaturally, before suddenly shutting off on its own. Just seconds later, the door near Andre slams violently, making him jump as the footage cuts out. Whatever caused that surge of activity came on all at once, and judging by his panic, it was the last thing he expected when he sat down to play music. Late one night, Jake was filming when he ran into his sister's bedroom holding a bottle of hot sauce, clearly not expecting anything unusual to happen. The camera swings toward the bed as he laughs, but his tone changes almost immediately when something strange catches his eye. Sitting right beside his sister is a teddy bear, and as soon as he speaks, it slowly tips over on its own. Jake reacts first, telling her the teddy just fell, but she barely looks up and calmly asks, "What?" as if nothing happened. That's when something crazy happens though. Take a look.
Alright, follow the hot sauce, or say something embarrassing. Follow the bear just moved.
What?
Oh my god!
That's when things escalate fast. Without anyone touching it, the teddy suddenly jerks and slides unnaturally toward the middle of the bed. It doesn't fall naturally or roll. It looks pushed, almost like something invisible forced it forward in a single, deliberate movement. The shift is quick, aggressive, and completely out of place. Both of them instantly panic, yelling as Jake pulls the camera back. There's no laughter anymore, no explanation offered, just raw fear. They scramble off the bed and run out of the room as the footage cuts abruptly. Afterward, viewers pointed out how unnatural the movement was, especially compared to the first fall. Jake later claimed neither of them touched the teddy and that nothing like that had ever happened in that room before, making this clip one of the most unsettling moments they've ever caught on camera. There's a lot of scary things you can find in your garden, but this exceeds all of them. Joseph was outside late at night, standing in his backyard and filming because he said something had been watching him from the far edge of the property for several nights in a row. At first, it's hard to make out what he's talking about, just trees in the distance, but his breathing already sounds tense, like he knows exactly where to point the camera. Eventually, he zooms in on it and passes the fear to us all.
Look, dude, she couldn't find her way over there, so now she's over here. She's back in here trying to fucking find a way into my property. You see her? Look at that face. Oh my god. It's right there staring at me. Dude, how scary is that shit? Oh my god, dude. What the f? She's crawling through all this shit, bro.
As the footage continues, a pale, unnaturally still face becomes visible deep in the garden, staring directly toward him without moving. It doesn't blink, doesn't shift, just stays there in a way that feels completely wrong. Halfway through the clip, a faint glowing orb appears near the face and drifts outward, almost as if it's coming from it. Joseph reacts immediately, stepping back and narrating in disbelief, sounding more exhausted than surprised, like this isn't the first time it's happened. He doesn't chase it or get closer. He just keeps filming, clearly shaken. After posting the video, Joseph explained that the face has appeared multiple times in the opposite end of the garden, always watching, never approaching. Some people say it could be a trick of the light or an animal, but the consistency of the face, the orb, and Joseph's reaction make this one hard to brush off. Whatever was out there didn't seem lost. It seemed like it knew exactly where it was and what fear it was instilling. In this next story, a man who had been working the night shift at a hotel for several years explains the creepiest thing that's ever happened to him on the job. He says he'd never experienced anything paranormal there before, which is why this moment completely shook him.
So I've been working at a hotel for, a couple years now. And I've never had anything like this happen. And I'm borderline freaked out, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm sitting down here at the front desk, right? And I'm on the computer and I'm just typing away. Phone rings. I don't look at the phone. I just answer it. And, I say my whole little spiel or whatever. And it's just silent. The phone is just silent. After about, 3 or 4 seconds, I say hello again. Nothing. And right before I go to hang up, it sounds like I'm hearing somebody just like breathing on the other line. I just hang up and I'm like, okay, whatever. I ain't thinking twice about it. But then I go and look at the caller ID and let me show y'all something. All right. That's the room that called. Okay. Peep that. 505. Now let me show y'all something. I'm gonna go over here to the elevator so y'all know I'm not bullshitting. And I'm gonna turn the camera around. How many floors do you see here? Because I'm pretty sure we don't have a room 505 nor a 5th floor. This would be the night I quit. I don't do that shit. I don't do that shit.
His story goes like this. He's sitting alone at the front desk late at night, typing away on the computer, when the phone suddenly rings. He answers it normally, but on the other end there's nothing, just silence. After a few seconds, he says hello again, assuming it might be a bad connection, but there's still no response. Just as he's about to hang up, he hears something that makes his stomach drop. Slow, heavy breathing coming through the receiver. Without thinking, he hangs up immediately and checks the caller ID, expecting to see a guest room number. Instead, it says the call came from room 505. Confused and unsettled, he grabs his phone and walks over to the elevator to prove to himself it's nothing. He shows the buttons clearly on camera, and there is no 5th floor at all. The hotel doesn't even have a room 505. The realization hits him in real time, and you can hear his voice change as it sinks in that whatever was breathing on the other end of the line didn't come from anywhere that should exist. Who knows what caused this? Two friends were exploring an abandoned flat complex late at night, filming as they moved through the outside area to document the place for themselves. The building had been empty for years, with broken windows, peeling paint, and an eerie silence that made every footstep echo. As they were scanning the upper floors from the outside with a flashlight, one of them, a guy named James, suddenly stopped. He pointed the camera toward a very specific window, saying something had moved.
Just watch this.
Isn't it? Future in hand.
430 abandoned flats, and there is something in the window.
Open. Yo. You see movement then? No. Move the light. Yo. What the fuck is that? Yo.
The curtains inside that flat were moving slowly, swaying back and forth even though there was no wind, and every other window in the building was completely still. James zoomed in, trying to get a clearer look, when an unnerving face suddenly appeared behind the glass. It didn't move like a normal person stepping forward. It was already there, pale and distorted, staring straight back at them from the darkness. The two friends froze, in disbelief, as the face lingered for a split second before fading back into the shadows and disappearing entirely. After that, the curtain stopped moving. James later emphasized that there was no one else in the complex, and no way anyone could have known exactly where they were standing. Against their better judgment, they decided to go inside the building to see if there was any chance someone else was actually there. The moment they stepped into the block, it was clear the place hadn't been touched in years. Random stuff was scattered everywhere, rubbish piled up in corners, and the air felt stale and heavy. They slowly made their way toward the flat they'd been filming from outside, keeping the camera rolling the entire time.
We both go inside the building block to see who was in the window. What happens when we get in is beyond strange.
Hello?
Just what?
Which one is it? Check this. I can hear somebody. You know, there's dinging and beeping and... What the... Is that a window there? Yo. Hello? Isn't it? Hello? Yo! Who the fuck is it?
To be continued.
As they reach the room they believe the face came from, the guy behind the camera pauses and says he can hear something moving nearby. The area itself looks empty of life, stripped bare apart from debris on the floor. Then suddenly, a sharp metallic sound rings out, like a metal pin or small object dropping onto concrete. They both freeze. A few seconds later, it happens again, this time louder and closer, echoing down the corridor. Their tone changes instantly, voices dropping as they scan the room and nearby hallways, but there's nothing and no one in sight. James calls out a hesitant hello, his voice bouncing off the empty walls. Almost immediately after, another noise answers back from somewhere deeper in the building, but the source stays completely hidden. Whatever they saw in that window didn't stay behind the glass, and at that point, the exploration stopped feeling like curiosity and started feeling like they weren't welcome there at all. Subscribe as this exploration may continue in a future video. In the following video, a man who was home alone heard aggressive tapping, so started to film. The tapping kept going, slow at first, then steadily quicker, echoing from a room just out of view of the camera. He pauses, listening, clearly trying to convince himself it's nothing, before finally calling out a hesitant hello. The second he does, everything stops, dead silent. After a few seconds of waiting, he moves toward the basement stairs where the sound seemed to be coming from and starts descending, one step at a time.
Hello?
When he reaches the bottom, his camera pans across the room and reveals every single drawer hanging wide open, with a few objects scattered across the floor as if they'd been thrown. He barely has time to process it before, out of nowhere, a piece of cutlery suddenly launches itself out of a cupboard, clattering across the room. He panics instantly and sprints back up the stairs, the camera shaking wildly. As he reaches the top, you can hear something else running behind him, footsteps charging up the stairs just seconds after he does. The video cuts shortly after, and there were never any updates posted. Whatever was down there clearly didn't want him staying, and all anyone can do now is hope he got out safely. The following clip begins with loud, repeated banging echoing through the apartment, sharp enough to jolt the person filming upright from the couch beside the bed. It sounds deliberate, like something hitting a wall or door over and over, and after a moment of hesitation, they decide to investigate.
All right, let's investigate.
Camera in hand, they move through the apartment, checking nearby rooms, the hallway, even the front door, but everything is exactly as it should be. No movement, no open doors, no explanation for the noise they just heard. The banging has completely stopped, leaving behind an uncomfortable silence that feels heavier than the sound itself. After finding nothing, they head back toward the bedroom, clearly trying to convince themselves it was just a random noise. But as soon as they step back inside, the tension returns. The room feels different now, quieter, in a way that feels intentional, almost like whatever caused the banging is waiting. After ending the video, they pause near the couch, scanning the space slowly, listening for any hint of it starting again. Nothing does, at least not on camera, but the way they hesitate before sitting back down says enough. The banging may have stopped, but the feeling that something followed them back into the room never really goes away. James had already been dealing with strange activity in his house for days, which is exactly why he had his phone ready when this moment happened. He starts recording as the door handle in front of him begins shaking violently, rattling back and forth with force that clearly isn't normal. The handle suddenly twists on its own, and the door swings fully open, revealing the room beyond it. You can hear James breathing heavily behind the camera, frozen in place as he tries to process what he's seeing. Just as quickly, the door slowly shuts itself again, clicking into place. For a brief second, everything goes quiet, almost like it's over, but then the handle moves again. The door opens a second time, wider than before slamming shut once more as if whatever was doing it was toying with him. James later explained that this wasn't an isolated incident, and that similar things had been happening regularly in that room, which is what pushed him to finally film it. Seeing the door open and close repeatedly with that kind of force, and hearing the panic in his breathing, makes it clear this wasn't staged. Whatever was on the other side of that door clearly wanted to be noticed. Late at night, two friends were standing in the hallway of a house that had already been making them uneasy when they decided to finally check the attic. Ali stood directly beneath the hatch, holding the long stick used to pull it open, while his friend filmed from a few steps back. Heavy banging could be heard coming from above, loud and deliberate, not like animals or loose pipes, but slow, forceful knocks that seemed to respond to their presence.
Escucha, hágale, pero hágale suavecito. Espere, espere. Hágale.
Ali hesitates for a moment before pushing the attic door upward with the stick. As it creaks open, the darkness above fills the frame, and then something horrifying appears. An uncanny face suddenly becomes visible in the opening, pale and unnatural, staring straight down at them from the attic. It doesn't speak or move much, but its presence alone is enough. The moment they realize what they're looking at, both of them panic. The camera jolts violently as they turn and sprint away, shouting in fear as the attic door slams shut behind them. The footage was cut shortly after, but Ali later claimed neither of them went back up there that night. No one else was supposed to be in the house, and whatever looked down at them from that attic was never seen again. After weeks of dealing with things he couldn't explain inside the house, Tanner finally decided he needed some air and a break from whatever had been going on. He stepped outside with his phone, filming casually while talking to the camera about how tense everything had been lately, saying he just wanted to clear his head. The area around him looked empty and quiet, and nothing seemed out of place at first.
Hey guys, so I decided to just get out of the house today. I think it's probably good for me to keep my mind off of things and just maybe not think about it so much. I'm starting to feel paranoid, like the only place I feel safe is at my house, and I don't really think that that's healthy, so I decided to just get out today. Thanks you guys to anyone who reached out to me. I'm doing fine, I just feel a little uneasy when I leave the house, but other than that, I'm doing good.
As Tanner continues walking and talking, the camera briefly pans past a long corridor far behind him. In that moment, barely noticeable unless you're really looking, an uncanny girl-like figure can be seen standing still in the distance, watching from the shadows. Tanner doesn't react at all and keeps walking, completely unaware that anything is there. The figure doesn't move, doesn't wave, and doesn't follow. It just stands there before slipping out of view as the camera shifts again. It wasn't until Tanner posted the video that people in the comments started pointing it out, timestamp after timestamp, all saying the same thing. Whatever that figure was, it appeared right after he left the house to escape the activity inside, making it feel like whatever had been haunting him hadn't stayed behind at all. Three friends were standing in the water together, laughing and getting ready to take an underwater selfie together, the camera already recording as they counted down and hyped each other up. It all felt normal at first, just another casual moment caught on video. As they prepare to dive in, a fourth figure suddenly appears behind them in the frame. It looks like a person standing just a few steps back, close enough that there's no way they could have slipped away unnoticed. The friends don't react at all, clearly unaware that anyone else is there. Seconds later, the three of them dive forward into the water together, splashing out of frame. But the strange part is what happens next. The fourth person never moves, never steps aside, and never exits the shot. When the camera steadies again, there's no one behind them at all. No swimmer surfacing, no footsteps, no disturbance in the water that would explain where that person went. Viewers slowed the footage down frame by frame, and there's no point where the figure can be seen leaving. It's as if they were never really there to begin with. The clip ends shortly after, but that unexplained extra person has left people convinced something impossible wandered into the shot for just a few seconds. At around 2 in the morning, just as Abdullah was about to turn off the lights and go to sleep, loud banging suddenly erupted from his apartment door, sharp enough to make him freeze in place. Confused and half asleep, he pulled out his phone and started recording to catch this.
It was around 10 a.m. I was going to turn off lights and ready to sleep, and then this happened again. So I heard my voice again after a month.
हाँ भाई ना हाइदी हाँ हम अल्फा मलाई की तूने लम्मा शाब से कुछ उसमें से रख ले खुद उसमें हो ले लो जीवन इसमें तुम मुझे क्या है तुम्हें भूख लगी यार खाना खाओ मेरे पीछे तंग मत करो नीचे जा खाना खाओ फ्रिज में मैंने नहीं खोलना इसे
From the other side of the door, a voice could be heard begging to be let inside, repeating itself over and over, saying it was hungry and wanted to eat something. The tone didn't sound muffled like someone in the hallway, it sounded close, almost pressed against the door itself. Abdullah responds, firmly telling it no, that it can't come in. Almost instantly, the voice changes, becoming aggressive, and the knocking grows louder and faster, slamming against the door in bursts like whoever, or whatever, was getting angry. After a few tense seconds, the noise stops completely. Trying to prove to himself it was nothing, Abdullah opens the door and steps into the hallway, filming as he looks left and right. The corridor is completely empty, silent and still. No footsteps, no people, no sign that anyone had been there at all. He quickly retreats back inside and locks the door, later saying this was the moment he realized whatever was knocking didn't need to be seen to feel real. Just a day later, Abdullah found himself home alone again, still shaken from what happened the night before, but trying to convince himself it was a one-off. This time, the apartment door was already open as he moved around the house, and everything felt quiet enough to forget about it for a moment. That didn't last.
I was alone at home, so they started mimicking me again.
I heard someone is calling me, but I'm alone in my home. Like मेरे घर में कोई भी नहीं है अभी. कौन? रोहान तुम हो? क्या हुआ? हाँ? तुम नीचे आओ. तुम नीचे आ जाओ रोहान. नीचे क्यों नहीं आना? क्यों? बकवास बंद करो अपनी. कौन था? बोलो. रूम में है ना कोई? मेरी एक बार अपने जेब में. Okay, bye. I don't know what it is, but okay, bye.
From somewhere upstairs, a voice suddenly echoes down toward him, clear and deliberate, telling him to come up and get back to work. Abdullah freezes when he realizes the voice sounds exactly like his own. Before he can react, it changes again, perfectly mimicking his brother's voice instead, calling his name the same way his brother always does. The switch is instant and unsettling, like whatever it is knows them both. Abdullah shouts back, telling it to keep its mouth shut, his voice shaking more than he wants to admit. Immediately after that, everything goes silent. No footsteps, no movement, nothing at all. Trying to prove to himself it's not real, he runs upstairs with his phone still recording, checking every room along the way. Of course, there's nobody there. Later, Abdullah said the silence was worse than the voice because it felt intentional, like whatever was speaking chose to stop only after he confronted it. For anyone new here, Ian is a Midwest-based ghost hunter who's been investigating abandoned and reportedly haunted locations for years, most famously, an old factory he keeps returning to because of how consistently active it's been. He's captured unexplained footsteps, distant knocks, and objects moving in this place before, which is why this next clip matters so much.
If there's anyone up here, could you make a sound? Oh. Sound like it came from in there. Is anybody in there? Looks like an old creepy piano. Oh God. That's creepy. Hello? Ooh. That was loud. Hearing thumps and bangs all throughout this place. Oh my God. Okay, just calm down. It is a freaky atmosphere up here.
Ian is standing alone inside the factory again, filming the second floor and calmly asking if anyone is up there, requesting that whatever's present make a sound. Almost immediately, a loud bang echoes from a nearby room. Ian heads straight toward it, calling out as he goes, but when he reaches the room, it's completely empty, except for an old, dust-covered piano sitting against the wall. No signs of anyone, nowhere to hide. As he's taking it in, another knock rings out, this time closer, then another and another. Each one sounds deliberate, like a response rather than random noise. Ian keeps the camera steady, clearly unsettled now, slowly turning in place to show there's still no one around him. The factory stays silent between the knocks, making each one feel intentional, almost conversational. It's moments like this that keep pulling him back to this location, because whatever is in that factory doesn't just make noise, it answers. In the following video, the man behind the camera keeps moving through what looks like a storage area, the kind of tight corridor where every box and shadow feels like it has weight, and you can tell he is already on edge as he scans each corner with the camera. He stops when he notices a door that should never be opened during the investigation, sitting cracked just enough to make the hallway feel wrong, and he slowly leans in to look behind it, even though the team is nowhere nearby.
La puerta se abre y se cierra sola.
Se está abriendo esa puerta. No hay nadie. Y por acá también se escucha ruido.
He finds the door opening a crack, so opens it and checks behind it just to see nothing. Because of this, he walks away and the door shuts by itself as a strange noise starts playing behind it, and he speed walks out of the hallway. The second that door slams, you can see his whole body tense, because that wasn't wind, and it definitely wasn't timing or coincidence. And the noise that follows sounds like something trying to push through the wall just to remind him he is not supposed to be there. His footsteps turn into a full speed walk that almost looks like he wants to run but refuses to make noise, and every few seconds he glances back like he expects the door to open again. Moments like that show exactly why investigators always say curiosity is one thing, but when the building answers you on its own, that is when you learn how fast fear can move. It was late enough that the local markets should have felt peaceful, but every shutter was pulled down tight and the whole place looked abandoned, except for May cutting through the empty rows. She knew the place was closed and shouldn't have held any noise at all, which is why the first faint scream stopped her in her tracks, sounding like someone crying out in pain from deep inside the metal-covered stalls. She followed it slowly, each step making the sound grow sharper and more desperate, until it felt like it was right beside her, but no matter where she turned, there was never anyone there.
Imagínate andar por la central de abastos y oír esto.
The screaming and crying keep getting louder as she walks, yet she can't find the source even when it sounds feet away. By the time she reached the end of the walkway, the noise was so overwhelming it felt like it was coming from the walls, and she spun around expecting someone to stumble out, but the shutters were sealed tight like they hadn't moved in hours. That was the moment she realized she wasn't chasing a person at all, and the way the sound cut off instantly once she stopped filming, almost like it knew she understood, made the silence after feel even worse. May had walked straight into something trying to be heard, and the fact that it never showed itself only made it clearer that she had been listening to a ghost. It happened late in the evening when the house was already settling into that quiet that makes every shadow seem a little thicker, and Charlie kept tugging at his dad's sleeve, saying there was a scary boy standing across the room staring at him. His dad brushed it off at first, calling it pretend, but Charlie wasn't smiling or joking, he just kept insisting the boy was real and he didn't want to be near him. Eventually, the dad told him to show where this scary boy was, so Charlie nervously walked with him through the hall and stopped at a doorway, pointing inside with his hands shaking like he expected something to move.
What are you saying, Charlie? There's a scary boy where? What do you mean? What, are you doing pretend? Yeah, you're just playing pretend, aren't you? Do you want to show me? Show me then. Come on. You show me where he is. actually fucking mad. Where? Where? In there? In there? Okay, get ready, Charlie. No scary boy. No, there's nothing there, mate. Do you want me to go in? Look, there's absolutely nothing in here. You've got nothing to be scared about. I'm absolutely shitting myself. There's nothing to be scared about. There's nothing here. That's just the bathroom. Nothing there, buddy. Yeah. Yeah. That's just the shower. Never been more scared in my entire life. Oh my. See, told you, nothing there, mate. Perfect. Come on, let me silly.
The father opens the door and sees nothing, while Charlie refuses to step past the threshold. The moment the door swings open to an empty room, the dad turns back confused, but Charlie steps back like he's afraid something invisible is right in front of him, claiming that the scary boy is still there, even if his dad can't see him. That kind of fear doesn't come from pretending, and the way Charlie wouldn't even look into the room made the dad realize this wasn't just a kid's imagination. It was something he couldn't explain, and something Charlie clearly wished he hadn't noticed at all. It was supposed to be a quiet night in Braden's room, but the ceiling kept creaking with slow, heavy footsteps, even though nobody was home, and there shouldn't have been anything moving above him at all. He sat still for a second, trying to convince himself it was the house settling, but the steps were too steady, too human, so he grabbed his flashlight and started walking through the dark halls with that kind of nervous focus where every sound feels closer than it should.
Wow, it's really bad right now. Okay, hold on. Jesus. Okay, hold up. Why is the tree on there? Whatever that is coming from up here. Should I attempt to go in there? Because that was coming, all that thumping, it was coming from like right in there, in that room. What the?
He points his flashlight upstairs and hears his own exact voice say, "Come up for a sec." The way the voice coming down the stairs matched his tone perfectly meant he froze, because there was no way his own voice should be calling him from a place where nobody was standing. It wasn't an echo, and it wasn't a trick of the house. It sounded like something pretending to be him just to get his attention. He didn't step closer. He didn't even breathe for a moment, because when something upstairs can mimic you perfectly, the last thing you want to do is give it the chance to talk again. The following video was captured amidst a normal slow night at the sneaker shop. The kind where the worker is just sweeping the floor and straightening boxes while the CCTV quietly records every corner of the room. Nothing feels off until the air suddenly shifts a little, just enough to make him pause, and the camera catches him glancing toward the back like he sensed something move. As he keeps cleaning, the door to the back of the shop slams shut on its own, even though nothing is near it. He jumps and stares because there's no draft, no co-workers, no reason for it to slam with that much force, and the CCTV angle shows the room behind it is completely empty. It's the kind of movement that looks deliberate, like something wanted to make itself noticed, and the way he slowly backs away from the doorway says everything. Even in a brightly lit shop, surrounded by sneakers and shelves, that door made it clear he wasn't alone at all. The same sneaker shop is open now, customers walking around and the place feeling completely normal, like nothing strange had ever happened there. And one of the workers is helping a guy try on a new pair he picked from the wall. They're chatting casually as the customer slips the sneakers on. Then he walks over toward the mirror to get a better look, while the worker follows a few steps behind, totally unaware that the cameras are still watching every corner and about to capture something crazy.
Yeah, I'm going, bro. Barrel's pretty cool. He's trying to take it on myself. Hell no.
As the customer stands in front of the mirror, a single sneaker from the display wall drops to the floor on its own, with no one near it, causing both of them to panic and run. The moment that sneaker hits the ground, they both whip around because it didn't slide. It didn't wobble off. It fell straight down like something knocked it loose with intention. You can see the confusion turn into fear instantly, and the worker doesn't even try to explain it before bolting toward the front door with the customer right behind him. It feels like whatever slammed the back door before was still there, waiting for another chance to be noticed, and that single falling sneaker was enough to send them both running. The shop had only been open for 12 minutes when the man working started saying something was moving around in the attic, and the walls, like the whole building, was settling wrong, and the fact that the store next door was abandoned made every sound feel way more isolated than it should. He walked around the aisles with his camera, trying to prove he wasn't imagining it, and the second he passed the back corner, he heard a hard knock hit behind the wall, like something was following him from the other side.
Okay, we have literally been open for 12 minutes. There is so much stuff happening right now that I don't even understand it. So I'm going to show you. No one's on the cameras. There is stuff coming from the attic and in the walls again. And if you look it up, the store next to us doesn't exist. They went out of business. No one's here. Hello? Hello? Did you hear the knock? Hello? Can you knock again? Oh my. What the? It's honestly a great day to be haunted. I'm just recording right from Insta. I don't know if the machines are so loud, but there's so much knocking coming from the attic. This is insane, like literally. Okay. I'm gonna throw up. I'm not ready for this. It is too early for this. We're not even open. Hello? Is there a reason you're so active right now? My Jesus Christ! What the fuck is happening? I can't fake that. Holy cow. Okay, wait. I'm gonna try to do one continuous video proving that nobody's up here. Oh my god. I have goosebumps. Wow, this ain't even a TikTok. Okay. I'm just... God. Okay, it literally just stopped. Okay, can't show the code. Something literally flew off the wall. Bro. Bro, Spirit, is there a reason you're so upset today? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Jesus Christ. I don't even know where to go. Okay. Holy, look at this. I'm a little actually scared right now because this is in the morning. We don't usually experience this much in the morning.
The knocks keep happening as he circles the store, most of them coming from the attic, and the place isn't even open yet, so there is no way it could be a prankster customer. He pulls down the attic ladder, and loud banging erupts above him, before going silent. But right as he says it stopped, more knocks explode across the ceiling, and something is thrown off the wall. He shows the item on the floor through the CCTV feed. When the object hits the ground, he freezes, because that wasn't just noise, it was force, and the attic ladder hanging open behind him makes it feel like something could climb down at any second. He stands there breathing hard while staring into the dark above, and the silence that follows feels like the building is waiting for him to move so it can answer again. Ian, a ghost hunter in the Midwest, entered a decaying factory that locals claimed was haunted. The air was thick with dust and the faint smell of rust, and the silence made every creak echo like a warning. He set up his equipment, hoping to communicate with whatever lingered in the shadows, and immediately something responded.
Who are you? Whoa. Sir, why do you still haunt this tannery? It just said railing. Railing. Like fell over the railing. Are you saying that you died on these catwalks? And that you fell? Whoa. It sounded like that's what happened. Jesus, this is so crazy. Thank you, sir, for communicating with me. Is there anything you would like to say? Sounded like it said work. Are you going back to work? Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you get back to work then, if that's the case.
The voice was faint but clear, saying, "Lost my balance." Ian asked why it haunted the place, and the reply came simply, "Railing." Piecing it together, he assumed the spirit had fallen from the railing in life, and the ghost confirmed that's what happened. Feeling a mix of relief and awe, Ian thanked the spirit for sharing its story, then gave it one last chance to speak. The final words whispered back, "It's working," leaving Ian with the eerie sense that the factory still held secrets, and that even in death, some connections lingered longer than expected. Chris had brought out a Ouija board the night before with his friend, hoping to finally get some kind of response after everything that had been happening around his house. But the plan fell flat, and the board stayed silent the entire time. Now he was home alone, trying to convince himself that the quiet meant things were settling down. But the house had that strange stillness that always made him feel like something was listening. He was sitting in the living room when a sudden knock echoed through the house, even though no one was at the door, followed by a soft tapping that seemed to come from the room he was in. Take a look.
A lot of you guys are gonna be mad at me, but me and my cousin broke this out. Messed with it last night.
Dad had sex on a Ouija board.
Oh boy. We did it the proper way, though. I know this is a kid's toy, but y'all don't understand the kind of shit y'all's getting into when y'all fuck with this. At least some people don't. I heard it, but I didn't see it. I still hear it. You can hear that, can't you? I can. Sound like tapping. Everybody's like, oh, it's the hutch. It's the hutch. Can't do it again. This is a selfie stick I taped to a tripod.
He stood up and looked around, expecting to find something obvious, but the room was empty and nothing moved except for the faint shift of shadows from the lamp. A whisper slipped through the air behind him, a quiet hello that he didn't even register at first because it sounded too close and too low to make sense. Before he could process the stillness, the camera stand beside him toppled over on its own, hitting the floor with a sudden clatter that made him jump. He picked it up and propped it back into place, trying to laugh it off, but the uneasy feeling lingered like whatever whispered at him was still standing right behind his shoulder. Chris was sitting in his living room later that night, with the TV playing softly beside him and his dog curled up at his feet, trying to enjoy the quiet, even though the house kept giving him that uneasy feeling again. The tapping started up just like before, faint and scattered, and then the door started to vibrate.
It's not chewing on it. I'm sorry, y'all. He's just playing. It may be loud on my phone. I don't know yet. But yeah, we're just chilling. And I swear, up and down, I could have swore the door was vibrating. It's a sliding door. Slides into the wall. There it goes. That scared the shit out of me. Turn us to the light.
While he stroked the dog, the door across the room began to vibrate like something on the other side was pushing against it. And this is the moment that he pulled out the camera and kept it aimed straight at the door. The door slid open just a little on its own, then slowly crept even farther, revealing a deeper patch of darkness behind it that made the room feel colder. After a few seconds, it opened all the way, swinging wide until the entire doorway was visible and completely empty. Not a single movement inside. Chris stood up with his dog watching closely, walked toward the room, and flipped the light on. The space was perfectly still, every corner untouched, literally not a soul in sight. The silence felt even heavier than before, like whatever opened the door had stepped back just out of reach the moment he crossed the threshold. We might see more of Chris in future videos. The hospital room looked totally ordinary on camera, just a standard space with a bed in the center, a chair pushed against the wall, a small table with folded blankets, and the usual equipment sitting quietly in standby. Nothing looked out of place, and the frame stayed steady for a while, showing a perfectly normal scene with no movement at all. Out of nowhere, a strange, uneven sound slipped into the audio, almost like a motor trying to start even though nothing in the room was supposed to be running, and the backrest of the bed began lifting on its own in small, awkward jumps. It kept rising higher, little by little, climbing at a slow, steady angle until it was nearly upright at 90 degrees, with no one near the controls and nothing touching it. The rest of the room stayed exactly the same, the chair still, the other equipment untouched, every corner frozen except for that single, impossible movement. When the noise finally stopped, the bed stayed locked in that upright position, leaving the room looking perfectly normal again, except for the one thing that clearly hadn't moved by itself. Sabia had a security camera set up in her kitchen in the Netherlands, just a regular feed showing the table and a few candles sitting untouched near the back wall. Everything looked calm for a while, nothing unusual happening at all except for a few soft orbs drifting across the screen like dust catching the light. Then, without any movement around it, the candle suddenly sparked to life, a quick flash that turned into a steady flame, as if someone had just struck a match right beside it. Nothing else shifted in the room, no breeze touched the wick, and there was no one standing anywhere near it. The flame held perfectly still after forming, burning like it had been lit on purpose, even though Sabia knew the candle had been cold for hours. The rest of the kitchen stayed completely normal on camera, but the sudden light from the wick made the whole space feel different, like something unseen had stepped in just long enough to leave a mark, before disappearing again. A few nights later, Sabia checked another piece of security footage, this time from the sitting room, and the scene looked completely still at first, with the furniture exactly where it always stayed, and the time on the right showing it was practically midnight. The camera picked up a few drifting orbs crossing the frame like pale specks floating through the air, the same kind she had seen in the kitchen earlier, but nothing else seemed off until the corner of the room shifted. A chair that had been pushed neatly into the corner slid forward on its own, moving in one smooth line across the floor, even though no one was near it. More orbs drifted by in clusters right after, almost like the movement stirred something up, and then the painting on the wall began tilting slowly side to side as if an invisible hand was nudging it. The rest of the room stayed perfectly quiet. No shadows moving, no lights flickering, just the chair out of place and the painting swaying gently before settling back into place. Watching it all unfold at midnight made the sitting room feel less like a normal part of the house and more like another spot where something unseen was making itself known piece by piece. Who knows if it continued, because this is the last we heard from Sabia. In the following video, Stephen was washing dishes with the usual evening noises in the background, the sink running, the faint hum of the fridge, and nothing out of the ordinary until something suddenly tapped hard against the middle of his back and bounced onto the floor behind him. The sound made him jerk around with that instant confusion where your brain tries to catch up to what your body already felt, and he had no idea what could have hit him because he knew no one else was supposed to be that close.
Dude, I'm a little wigged out right now. So I was washing dishes and just putting things away, and all of a sudden I feel something hit me in the back and I heard it bounce. Look at this shit. And this ball hits me in the back right shoulder out of nowhere. And what's even crazier is look where Avery's at. Now mind you, I just got done washing the air fryer and was drying it off. Whatever it was had a little bit of force. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Lauren's been in bed for almost 2 days. Like, she gets up for a little bit, but she has not felt good at all. And Avery, let's just face it, if he's not watching his tablet, he's on the Oculus or he's outside. And I knew with it being like 12 o'clock, he's inside. So I have no idea. Now I have a lot of activity. It's not like malicious or anything, but that right there was the first time that's happened. So I don't know, what do y'all think about it?
When he cut to the CCTV footage, the camera clearly showed a small ball shooting across the room and hitting him square in the back before dropping to the floor. and the look on his face as he turned around said everything about how unexpected it was. He switched the feed over to another part of the house where his son Avery was sitting in plain view, completely occupied and nowhere near the kitchen, just to make it absolutely clear it couldn't have been him messing around. The replay showed no one behind Stephen, no shadows moving, no sign of any trick, just the ball launching on its own and hitting him like it had been tossed by someone he couldn't see. Elysia was alone at her storage unit in the middle of the day, filming down the long, narrow corridor that always felt eerie, but she never really questioned it. The overhead lights buzzed softly, reflecting off the rows of identical metal doors, while her voice echoed down as she told us about what was happening. She wasn't expecting anything at all until she started filming, just checking on a few things she had stored away, when something at the very end of the hallway caught her attention.
I'm over here at the storage, and I don't know if it's me, but y'all tell me I don't see that. Oh no. I don't know if it's just a fan like going in and out, but the is that? I don't. Maybe I'm bugging. No, I know y'all just see that, right? Oh!
A dark shape peeked out from the corner, a black blob leaning just far enough around the wall for its outline to show before sliding back out of sight again. She kept filming, trying to convince herself it was a trick of the light, but the shape returned a second later, then slipped away, then peeked again like it was deliberately watching her from the far end of the corridor. Nothing else in the hallway moved, no doors rattled, no shadows shifted, except for that one shape darting back and forth behind the last wall. The emptiness made the whole place feel colder, and the repeated movements left her with the awful sense that whatever was hiding around that corner wasn't trying to avoid her at all, but was studying her from a distance she couldn't close. In the follow-up clip, Elysia returned to the storage facility in the daytime, hoping the daylight would make the place feel less threatening, but the moment she stepped inside, she realized it didn't help at all. The entire corridor was pitch dark, even though the building should have been fully lit during business hours. She was the only customer there, with only a couple of staff somewhere in the front office, so she decided to walk in anyway.
Alright, y'all. I'm finally back at this place. And you know, I'm in the process of moving in and out. Right now, ain't nobody here. Like, listen. If I see something again, I'm definitely reporting to the manager to put up that video, because I'm not playing. There's one car over there, but I'm just gonna see, because right now everything's dark. Like inside there, I don't know if you can see it, but it's dark. Like, look how scary that shit is, bro. This is why I hate doing this shit, but I got no choice. This here, see, like I know when you go in, it censors somebody that's here. Oh, so. See, that's that shit that be scary. And, like, I'm on the second floor. Okay. I know that this lady probably lives here or she does her business here, but she's here every single day, nonstop. If that chair's not there, she's not here. If the chair's there, she's there. And, yeah, so I don't know if she lives there or does her little business there. Yeah, anyways, yeah, I don't know. Alright. See, this is my storage. And I'm honestly, I'm like acting like you guys are human or bitch, I might be living here tonight. No. I'm not doing this. There's no way there's no way I'm in the storage stuck in this shit. Hello! Oh my god.
As soon as she crossed the motion sensor, the overhead lights flickered on one by one, illuminating the long hallway in a way that instantly reminded her of the last video. She went upstairs to the second floor, unlocked her storage unit, and began recording inside while she rearranged a few items. Out of nowhere, the sound of something sliding echoed from directly outside the unit. A long, dragging noise like metal or plastic scraping across the floor. Elysia froze, staring toward the open doorway before rushing forward and pulling the metal shutter down as fast as she could, trapping herself safely inside so whatever had caused the noise couldn't get in. She waited quietly, breathing hard, but the sliding sound didn't repeat. Later that day, staff reviewed the CCTV for her, and the cameras confirmed it. Nobody else had entered that floor at all during the time she was there, making the situation far more unnerving than she wanted to believe. Clowns have always been creepy, even when they are not doing anything at all, and this CCTV clip does absolutely nothing to help their case. The camera was set up facing a clown mannequin sitting upright on a sofa, its painted smile frozen and eyes staring forward in that way that already feels wrong before anything even happens. The house was empty at the time, no pets, no people, nothing that should have caused movement. For a while, the footage shows nothing but stillness until the mannequin's right arm slowly begins to slide off the armrest. It does not drop or flop the way gravity would make it. Instead, it moves sideways in a controlled, steady motion, lowering until it comes to rest against the side of the clown's body. What makes it even more unsettling is where it stops. The hand ends up positioned right next to the clown's hat, almost like it was deliberately reaching for it. No vibrations, no one-off camera, no visible reason for the movement at all. After the arm settles, nothing else moves for the rest of the recording, leaving the mannequin frozen once again, just in a slightly different pose than before. The owner later said they noticed the arm had changed position when reviewing the footage, and immediately removed the mannequin from the house, because apparently there are limits to what people are willing to coexist with, and a clown adjusting itself when no one is around is one of them. Two friends named Stevie and Ron were filming a light-hearted moment in their living room when something took a sharp turn into the unsettling. They had the camera pointed at their two rabbits on the floor, laughing as Stevie teased one of them by dangling a floppy carrot just inches from its face. The mood was relaxed and wholesome, the kind of clip you'd expect to end with nothing more than a rabbit chewing contentedly.
You don't want that shit.
Do you hear something outside?
Yeah, where's it coming from? There's something like
crouching down there.
Yeah, could you get the light? Yeah. What is back there? Where did it go? Did you see where it went?
Smart. I don't know. I thought it ran down the alley.
Did you see which way?
Yeah. I don't see anything.
The black rabbit suddenly lunges forward and headbutts the carrot, snapping the end clean off, as both Stevie and Ron burst out laughing. but their laughter cuts short almost immediately when they both pause and look toward a window off camera. They mention hearing a noise from outside, even though nothing is picked up clearly on the audio. As Stevie slowly pans the camera toward the glass, something strange comes into view. Just beyond the window, low to the ground, there's a dark shape crouched in a way that doesn't look like any animal they can recognize. It's still for a second, like it knows it's being watched. Ron knocks on the window to scare it off, and instantly, the shape bolts away at an unnatural speed. The two rush outside to check, filming the empty yard and surrounding area, but there's nothing there at all. No footsteps, no animals, no sign anything had been crouching there moments earlier. What started as a harmless rabbit video ended with both of them convinced they'd just seen something that wasn't supposed to be there. Lean is standing just a few feet away from a door that won't stop being knocked on, the sound coming fast and aggressive like something on the other side is desperate to get in. The camera shakes slightly as the door itself begins to rattle in its frame, each knock making it flex more than it should.
Son 3 de la mañana. Hace rato que no escuchaba esto ahí. Ya estoy con mucho menos miedo que antes. Ahora lo afronto más rápido. Esto no sé, la verdad que voy a ver. Voy a tratar de grabar de acá. Miren lo alto que es. No lo puedo creer. No, sos hijo de puta. Que me miran, hijo de puta. ¿Quién sos, hijo de puta? ¿Quién sos? No hay nadie abajo, no hay nada. Es increíble. No, es increíble. No puedo creer que no haya nadie.
After a few tense seconds, the door suddenly cracks open on its own. Lean steps to the side, angling the camera so it now captures the bathroom behind it. That's when something even more disturbing appears. Above the shower curtain, a dark, head-shaped shadow starts moving back and forth, clearly visible against the lighter wall. Lean lowers the camera deliberately to show the floor beneath the curtain, proving there are no legs, no feet, nothing standing there. The shadow keeps shifting anyway. Fighting panic, he reaches forward and yanks the curtain back. The shower is completely empty. No one inside. No place for anything to hide. The knocking has stopped. The shadow is gone, and the bathroom is silent. Whatever was at that door moments earlier vanished the second he confronted it. Daniel works graveyard shifts at a hospital, the kind of quiet hours where every sound feels louder than it should. And he says that for weeks, one specific door has been opening and closing on its own during his rounds. At first, he blamed air pressure or faulty hinges because that is what a rational adult does before accepting nightmare logic. But it kept happening in the same way, at the same time, night after night. Eventually, he got tired of explaining it away and decided to record.
This door keeps on opening and closing. Like, there's nobody here. I'm not doing the sensor. But it keeps on opening and closing. And I'm alone. I'm alone.
The camera shows an empty corridor, lights humming softly, when the door at the end slowly begins to move. It opens with a long, dragged-out creak, inch by inch, as if someone unseen is carefully pulling it toward them. Daniel stays completely silent, clearly not wanting to interrupt whatever is happening. After a few seconds, the door stops. Then just as unnervingly, it starts to close again, reversing the motion at the same slow, deliberate pace until it settles back into place. There is no rush of air, no footsteps, no shadow passing by. Daniel later explained this was exactly how it always happened. Never slamming, never sudden, almost controlled. Hospital staff checked the area the next morning and found nothing wrong with the door at all. Since then, Daniel says he avoids that corridor whenever he can, because whatever is opening that door seems to know exactly when he is there. Roy's footage starts already in chaos, the kind that makes your stomach tighten before anything even happens. The camera is shaking as he runs into a room, slams the door shut behind him, and locks it while breathing heavily, clearly panicked by something chasing him through the apartment. Whatever scared him enough to run is still out there. Almost immediately, slow knocking begins on the door he just locked, each knock spaced out and deliberate, like whoever or whatever is on the other side knows he is listening. Then the pace changes. The knocks speed up, growing louder and more aggressive, until it sounds like the door is being tested. After a long pause, Roy finally works up the courage to open it. As the door creaks open, the camera reveals something even stranger. Inside the room is another closed door, facing him directly. Before he can react, that second door suddenly swings open on its own, fast and forceful, as if someone yanked it from the other side. The clip cuts immediately after. Roy later explained that this was the final straw for him. Since then, the activity has only escalated, and he is actively trying to move out of the apartment, convinced whatever is there does not want him staying any longer. Hannah is walking through a building that's completely silent, the kind of silence that feels wrong rather than peaceful. From the layout and the tiny furniture scattered around, it looks like an abandoned daycare. She keeps the camera steady as she moves down the hallway, aware that no one else is supposed to be there with her. As she steps into one of the rooms, the camera settles on a small doll, sitting upright on a child-sized chair in the corner. It looks harmless at first, just another forgotten toy left behind. But then, without anyone touching it, the doll shifts. Its body tilts slightly, adjusting its position on the chair as if it just moved on its own. Hannah gasps and instinctively steps back, quickly panning the camera to show there's no string, no one nearby, nothing that could have caused it. The rest of the room is empty, and the building remains dead silent. She doesn't stay long after that. Later, Hannah explained that she left the building immediately and refused to go back inside alone. Whatever was still playing in that daycare clearly wasn't ready to be left behind. Aidan starts recording after days of unexplained activity in his home, convinced that whatever's been happening isn't just his imagination anymore. He keeps the camera steady, focused on a cabinet in his kitchen that he claims has been causing problems on its own.
I feel some paranormal activity going on. There it is. Paranormal paranormal activity. I knew it.
At first, nothing happens, and the room is completely silent. Then, without warning, the left side of the cabinet slowly pulls open by itself. There's no one near it, no visible force, and no sudden movement of air that could explain it. Aiden reacts instantly, informing the audience as he keeps the camera trained on the cabinet, half expecting it to move again. It doesn't. The door just hangs there, wide open, like it was deliberately left that way. After the clip, Aiden explained that this wasn't the first time things like this had happened, but it was the first time he managed to catch it on camera. Since then, he says the activity has been getting more frequent, and he's now convinced there's something in his house that knows exactly when it's being watched. This next clip comes from Ian, a familiar face for anyone who's followed Midwest ghost hunting for a while. He's back in the same abandoned factory he's explored before, a place already known for making people uneasy. At this point in the investigation, Ian is walking alone through a deeper section of the building, clearly worn down, but still pushing forward. He briefly discovers what looks like an old elevator shaft, but doesn't linger long because he says the area instantly makes him feel dizzy and disoriented, like the air itself is off. He moves away and ends up wandering into a bizarre, maze-like section of the factory, with narrow pathways and hanging sheets of torn material that force him to physically push through just to keep going.
Elevator shaft. God. Imagine falling down that. Hell no, I can't even look at stuff like that. I get woozy. Oh, whoa. This looks like a freaky maze. Do I dare go in here? Ah, screw it. Why not? Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh, that thunder. It almost sounded like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. What the f? Dude, the f***ing strobe lights are on. Get me out of here, get me out of here. I can't f***ing see. Dude, what the hell was that about? Those freaking things just came on by themselves. Who just turned those lights on? Oh my god, I about fainted when that freaking happened. I wonder if maybe they're motion censored. Maybe they just detected my motion and turned on. Oh god, I don't want to go back in there, but gotta test it out. Oh, my goodness, it's getting tangled. Oh, the lights aren't going off. What the hell? What's going on? These things should be going off. Look, I'm already on the other side now. Oh man, oh. Yeah, like I'm moving all around in here. And there's nothing. They aren't going off. If you're still in here, could you trigger the lights?
As he makes his way through, the strobe lights in the area suddenly switch on by themselves, flashing violently and lighting up the maze in short, disorienting bursts. Ian immediately reacts, confused and unsettled, assuming they must be motion activated. To test it, he backs out and retraces his steps, deliberately walking the same path again. But this time, nothing happens. The lights stay completely off, no matter how much he moves. That's when it really sinks in that whatever triggered them before wasn't just motion. The randomness of it, combined with the oppressive layout of the factory, makes this one of the most unsettling moments of his entire investigation, and it's clear the building wasn't done messing with him yet.